My name is Valerie Gregory. I'm an Associate Dean in the Office of Undergraduate Admission. Have been doing this now for almost 12 years. I direct an outreach office, which this is a team of people in the undergraduate admissions office that assists underrepresented students to be able to go through the college admission process. I think my advice to them would be just as any student who's looking to go into college, and that is to think about your academics. It really starts as soon as you start high school. And when we say academics, one of the things I think you really want to be cognizant of is making sure you're taking advanced courses that look to see what your high school has to offer. Don't be afraid to take the risk and challenge yourself by taking those more advanced classes. And it's kind of a building game that by the time you start in 9th grade, you try a few classes, and then you build up in 12th grade is supposed to be at the top of your game. That's where you should be challenging yourself. And you probably want to take a more generalist approach. You say you might want to major in history, or you might want to major in English or the sciences, but it's good to be well versed in all of the major subject matters, such as math, science, English, and humanities. And foreign language is starting to become a really important part. So you want to be able to create for yourself in high school a strong program. And of course you want to perform well, which is reflected by your grades, and try to make sure you're on an upward trend and a building trend with your grades. I feel as though those are the two most important parts. Everything else kind of highlights those things, such as your SATs or ACTs, the activities you're involved in, the clubs and things you join in, recommendations you're going to need to get from different people. And I think you, particularly with your heritage being American Indian, that is definitely something you would like to either talk about in your essays, or if there are opportunities for you to be involved with your tribe within your area, or there's things going on in your school, most definitely show and take interest in your heritage and what you might be able to bring to a college campus that could be reflected in your application. The financial resources for American Indians particularly are probably going to be somewhat limited for a public institution, because public institutions do not have the freedom to give quote-unquote race-based or ethnic-based scholarships. Some of your private schools, though, definitely can, and you will find that there will be private schools that are out there that can offer up options specifically for American Indians to be able to attend their institutions. Depending on which school you're going to, I think there'll always be resources to help you if you're in need academically. You're trying to make sure you're performing well while in the college level. Probably the first place you want to check at any institution is going to be the Dean of Students office. Almost all Dean of Students office will be able to direct you or give you resources that can help support you as well. You also might want to take to see, because I'm sure most campuses have some form of a multicultural group or activity or office, and that too could also offer you some academic support. And most definitely never be afraid to check with your department in terms of professors or chairs or anyone who's in a department in the area that you might be specifically interested in. Resources are there. I think the difference is that in college you're going to have to reach out for it, whereas in high school they kind of come to you and people bring it to you. There are so many different types of colleges in terms of there. Of course, you have your four-year institutions, which guarantee you your bachelor's degree in terms of being able to study. Almost all of those are going to be what we call residential colleges, where you become a part of the community and things along that line. And then you have your two-year institutions, which oftentimes will give you what is called an associate degree. And this allows you to kind of get your foundation that you might want to develop before moving into a four-year institution for the bachelor's degree as well. You're also going to find colleges or what we call pay kind of type colleges where the goal is to pay to help you get certified in a particular skill, such as technology or nursing and things along that line. To be able to figure out what the right fit is for you, I think you'll know that by the time you're a senior in college. It could be that you need to find a school to develop your basic skills. Maybe you didn't feel as though you performed as well in high school, and you want to be able to build those basic skills, math, science, and English. And therefore, you may find students go to a 2-year institution first before moving on to the 4-year. Some people will also make the decision to go to a 2-year institution because of finances. Typically, since you don't have to worry about room and board and things like that, you might go to the 2-year institution because it might be more economically easier for you and your family to do 2 years there before you move on to your bachelor's degree into a 4-year institution. So it's really kind of a personal choice of where you are in your senior year and what you think you're really ready for. When you get ready to move into that 4-year institution, there are lots of things you need to think about because you are not just going for your education, but you're moving into a community. So you need to think about what kind of community you think is a good fit for you. Do you want to be in a large college? Do you want to be in a diverse college? Or do you want to be in a college that's single sex, like an all women's or a historical black school? You think about the environment. You also think about what it is you might be interested in studying and where it's located, whether it's in a big city or whether it's in suburbia or whether it's out in the kind of rural area. Those are really important things to ask yourself as you get ready to move into those 4-year institutions, because this is going to be your community and your home. And you want to be sure it's something that is going to be comfortable for you, as well as challenging you academically as well. We are an affirmative action school, and we do practice it in the admission process. Because we call ourselves creating a class, we want that class to offer diversity in all shapes, forms, and size. And being an American Indian is one way to offer that kind of diversity and would be one of many factors that we would utilize as we make decisions on who we'd like to be able to admit to the university. And it's not going to be one of those things that just because you're an American Indian, this is going to give you a big edge in the process, because we also want you to be successful here. And so because of that, we want you to have the academic preparation from your high school to be able to do that as well. But we also want to know what it is that you might be able to bring to this college or to like the University of Virginia. And those are things that you can express about your heritage, particularly being an American Indian, through your essays, through recommendations, through the kinds of things that you're involved in. It's a holistic process. It's very much a factor that we include as we make decisions about applications, but definitely is something that helps us to create a really more global class for our students who are here. Don't let the process scare you. I think in this day and time, admissions has become a very hot topic. And with all the news articles you may hear and read, you might see, oh, it's so hard to get into selective schools. And students are shying away from even applying to selective schools or really finding a school that they're interested in. Find the schools that you think will be good fits for you. You can go to a Harvard, Princeton, or Yale, or you could go to UVA. Just don't let what you hear around you scare you from thinking that this is not a possibility for you.